This video, I'm going to show you how we can save and reload files. So let's assume this is the best draft I've ever made, and I'm dying to save it and put it on my loom and weave it. The first thing I can do is actually come up here and give my draft a meaningful file name. So I'll call this one best draft ever. Now, if I click this folder, that's for opening a new draft. And what I want to do is save. So my options are to hit save or to hit print. Now, if I hit print, my browser will automatically download an image of what we're seeing in the drawdown screen here. So if you'll see here, there's an image now in my downloads folder called Best Draft Ever. Here we go. You can see it here. We're still a little buggy on this, but for the most part, you can see the material assignments and also what the draft looked like. If I hit that same print button, excuse me, and I was in draft mode, what it would end up being printed is the actual draft. So again, it's saved as best draft ever. And if I open it, I can see that it's showing me the draft. So essentially, whatever you're seeing in this main screen here is what you'll get when you hit print. Now, when you hit save, it's much more like saving the whole file in the whole environment. So it saves all your information about warp and weft systems, materials, the draft, also any custom patterns you might have added, any extra material you've added, or any notes. And you get to that with this little kind of download button. Now, you can download this as a bitmap, say if you're going to weave it on a jacquard loom and you just need a bitmap image, or if you want to import it into Photoshop. You can save it as an AdaCAD file, which is a special file format we created for this program that basically allows us to keep all the information we're showing here. Or if you're tired of AdaCAD and you want to switch into your other favorite weaving tool, you're welcome to save this as a WIF file and maybe open it in a different tool like WeavePoint, for example. So let's say I go ahead and I save this as an AdaCAD file. It saved it as bestdraftever.ada, and that will be in the downloads folder. So wherever downloads go from your browser, whenever you hit download on anything, it'll go to that same place. And if you can't find it, you can use the search tool. Because we're sort of in a development mode, we don't have a really robust system for saving yet. And because this is in the browser, that gets a little more complicated. So this is the best we can offer at the current moment for saving your draft. Now, what happens typically is that every time you load AdaCAD, let's say my computer crashes or I need to open it in a new tab. If I go to adacadweaver.firebase, what it's doing in the background is it's actually saving your state to your browser. So should something terrible happen and your window closes, if you reopen it, you will get a restored version. And then when you get to this screen, you just ignore it. You click off of it and you go right back to where you were. Now this works most of the time as long as you're not working in a draft that's bigger than 1,000 warps by 1,000 pixels. Currently, we can only use this feature to support small drafts. So as a rule of thumb, it's probably a good idea to save your draft in AdaCAD format whenever you have something meaningful that you want to save. So let's go ahead now, and if I want to open that file I saved or open a different file, I can click this Open Draft. And now let's say, okay, I'm going to load in an AdaCAD file. And I'm going to choose a file. And look, I have a few here. Are there any .adas that I can work from? Here, I'll go to my desktop. Look at all these great things I have on my desktop. Here, I'll open this new one called 2D Sensing. I hit start, and now all of a sudden I can work on this other file. And you'll see that all the materials have been updated to reflect the materials I used in this other file. So that's my quick version of saving and uploading. I hope it was helpful. You always also have these undo and redo features if, for instance, you do something wrong and you just want to go back. So thank you so much.